Hello and welcome to Universal Studios Hollywood. I am so excited to be back. I haven't been here since June, so there is a lot to check out, from horror nights to stores closing to stores opening to pop-up locations, and hopefully I'll get to do some experiences and attractions as well. So let's start, of course, as we always do, with Halloween Horror Nights. And here we are looking at the Horror Nights houses for 2022. Starting out here with the Halloween maze, we now have a porch and a fence outside the front. It is interesting that they do have roof panels on top of the porch, even though that will not be seen by guests because it's too high up. Looking to the left a little bit, those holes in the wall look a little bit new, maybe. Just for some electrical. It's nice to see that we now have plugs and different cords running down, but not much to see over here. Now let's look at the Scarecrow maze. And of course, when I do say things like Scarecrow maze and Halloween maze, we don't know until the map comes out, and Scarecrow hasn't even been announced yet as of this recording, but I will say, covered up, that does look like a scarecrow to me. And zooming out a little bit, not much to see here in the front of the house. We haven't really had much change, and nothing on the side of the house as well. Anyway, let's magically teleport to Some Chocolate Emporium and Savory Feast Kitchen for some CityWalk updates. And here we are, right here at the top of City Food. And now before we even look at Some Chocolate Emporium, just a couple quick updates. First, Skechers closed. Skechers is right across from the Universal Cinema, right next to City Food, and believe it or not, it's actually not the only shoe place, or wasn't the only shoe place on CityWalk. There's also Shoe Palace next to Raider Image. But Skechers closed. It also followed Havana's, which closed, I think, during COVID. That was a sandals place right next to Menchie's Frozen Yogurt. And of course, we still have the closure of Blaze Pizza and Starbucks, although Starbucks now has a brand new location. It's probably going to open within a week, and that is right where the Carl Strauss Brewing Company used to be, above Antojitos. It's an interesting location, but it makes a lot of sense. It has all the traffic from ET parking structure, Curious Storage parking structure, and the Jurassic World parking lot, and it has the team member entrance right next to it. It's kind of at the hub of all things CityWalk, so that makes perfect sense. Now let's look at Some Chocolate Emporium and Savory Feast Kitchen. And here we are. Let's first look at the exterior of the building, where Scrim has covered that second level entrance, so we can no longer see that, but we can now see the frame of the building because all of that wall has been removed. Looking down a little bit over to the left side at the base of the smokestacks or chimneys or whatever they're going to be, we now have a little bit more finished concrete work to hold up the barriers that might be planters, might be walkways, we're not sure. And there's now a temporary walkway outside the front. Here's a look at that temporary walkway and a little bit of a look inside, where we now have a little bit more finished wall towards the back of the restaurant. So on that note, let's head down CityWalk a little further, where we have a brand new store that opened. First is what used to be outside of American Express has been changed over to Universal Studios Hollywood box office. This might have happened a couple weeks ago and I just missed it, but there's a sign where you can upgrade to Express, make dining reservations for all of these restaurants, including Some Chocolate Emporium and Savory Feast Kitchen, coming soon. Very exciting. Next to Ben & Jerry's, Production Central is still closed. We have no idea what this is going to be turned into. My hope is for a Super Nintendo World store or a place you can buy butterbeer. And of course, here we have Sensations. This location opened a couple weeks ago, but I haven't really checked it out yet, and it's still closed, so we can't check it out right now. Now let's head into the park. Okay, and one of the first ones in the park, I was going to go check out the new Super Nintendo World section of the Studio Tour, which opened just 2 days ago from when I'm recording this. But unfortunately, the stores do not open until 9, and I would love to rope drop an attraction or an experience or something. It does unfortunately look like they are going to rope drop us here. And I'm letting people run in front of me because everyone's running to the Wizarding World and to the lower lot. I'm gonna head this way. We need to check out the Central Plaza. So while it's not as exciting being empty like this, we finally have the Minion balloon that I was thinking could be for Nope, but it's definitely a Minion. I corrected myself over on Twitter if you follow me on there. And then we have 2 Minion Rise of Gru photo ops. I was here in the park a couple days ago and I saw there was a Minion from the movie doing a photo op in front of that one. Maybe they're for 2 different Minions on crazy crowd days. And then this is a really cool game. It's kind of like whack-a-mole with lights. Unfortunately, it was very hard to see during the day. It makes more sense at night. But because we're in summer months, the park is open till 10 every single day this month. But I'm right now right in front of the La Llorona maze, which, as you can see here, doesn't really have much progress on the front. That's because it's basically done. Now, I did come in the park a couple days ago with some friends who worked on different attractions, and I learned a couple fun things that I didn't know. Maybe you guys probably knew because you knew the movie, but apparently Liam, right there and right here, is a character from the movie. And as you can see by the closed doors, it is going to be closed for the next 25 minutes, not opening till 9 a.m. So I think let's head this way and check on some Super Nintendo World construction. I do want to head on Secret Life of Pets Off the Leash for you guys at some point in the near future because I learned a couple cool gestures you can make and poses you can do for some of the interactive elements that change the attraction. And here we go. We have a lot of changes. It has been a couple weeks. The warp pipe has finally been unveiled. So exciting. We'll get another look at that down by Transformers. Moving to the left a little bit, that piranha looks like it's been unveiled a little bit more towards the center of the frame. And we can see new coins that have been unveiled slightly above that forklift. Moving to the left a little bit more, we have just some new theming elements. Every one of those plywood boxes that you can see around the land is covering up another theming element. Maybe it's an interactive moving something. But we'll see that better from the Starway as we head down to the lower lot later. These are going to be more theming elements. We now have a thwomp here at the bottom of Mount Beanpole. The clouds you can't really see from this angle, but they've now been moved. I think they must have been moved by hand because I haven't seen them move in any videos of this land yet. And here we have the top of Mount Beanpole. Again, we will get a much better look at this from the Starway. But moving to the left of Super Nintendo World over here, this is the look at the smaller lower lot construction in the former cafeteria area, the commissary area, and we now have a pile driver there, a couple ones. Moving over here to the left, here is the brand new creative campus that took over that chunk of the mountain. We'll see this from the studio tour. Very pretty. Now, every time I leave the former smoking section, I say, do not smoke, it kills you. Now, one of the advantages of coming over to this side of the park so early in the morning is there is just absolutely no one here. Everyone you can see is far in the distance. Before we do anything exciting, I need to talk Special Effects Show, which has finally reopened since being closed for COVID. Now, the Special Effects Show was and is one of my favorite attractions at Universal Studios Hollywood, and I got to see it a couple days ago back on its opening day. And unfortunately, they cut one of my favorite parts of the show. They actually cut a lot from the show, and they shortened it. It's now about 25 minutes, maybe, and that's being generous. Of course, you have time for seating and the opening and all the trailers, but I'll be posting a full video of that to the channel in a couple days. Instead of heading to the lower lot, let's head over to the studio tour. And of course, here, while we're waiting for the studio tour to open, we can get a look at the Warner Brothers construction and the lower lot sound stages. Let's zoom in a bit. This is the Warner Brothers lot. You can see Disney in the background. This is the new Warner Brothers Creative Campus, affectionately known as the Iceberg, or nicknamed that anyway. And then here are the lower lot sound stages, which are looking a lot better in paint on the outside. Now, there's still a lot of work to go, but they've done a lot of work in paving the outside. You can still see some trucks around front of the right bottom sound stage, but maybe if we head into Little Europe, we'll be able to see a little bit from there. Now, a couple days ago, I was here and the backlot was completely closed because they were filming Quantum Leap, a new TV show or movie based on the original TV show or movie. I don't know much about it. We could not get anywhere near the backlot. We had the quiet on set video that popped up that I had never seen. That was Jimmy Fallon doing a staring contest and then juggling a bunch of different things. It was really cool. If I have a video of it, I'll put it in here. We are now on the tram right past the fire station, still for Memorial Day and 4th of July. Looks like our dinosaur still has some fireworks and a patriotic hat on. I love this. This is from Jurassic World: The Ride. Here is our look at the creative campus, where every single time we come here, it seems like it grows by a level. Some of those top levels are going to have a great view of Jurassic World. Now, one thing to note, on top of this level is there seems to be one more level that's going to be outdoors, possibly. I don't know if that's going to be backstage space or on-stage space. Behind Transformers and Stage 29, here's a look at the rumored killer clowns from outer space maze. And we have these brand new blue tents, which are out of here. These have nothing to do with the maze. These are just for production, but I can hear some axe grinding and construction sounds from inside, and you can see, well, you can't really see on the video, but it looks like they're still filming Quantum Leap, so unfortunately we cannot head into the backlot. Leaving Kong, one thing that was interesting is the tram off-ramp, kind of like the backstage route for the tram before it heads into the Kong show building, was open. Not just was it open, it was bleeding in a lot of light and kind of destroying the show just a little bit. That is the very first time I've been on the studio tour and seen it. Now, one thing that is cool is inside of the InGen RV here, there are screens that show scenes at night that I had never seen during the day, and I came here at night and I did the studio tour at night, and it looks really cool. I'll post that video in the next week or two that kind of shows off some of the fun night scenes from the studio tour, because there are a lot of differences, a lot of cool light. Even in like 6 Points, Texas, there are some scenes that I'd never seen before. So definitely worth checking out. Make sure you're subscribed. You can see a lot of production cars back here. They're using this as parking for something they are filming on the lot. This could be for the Quantum Leap that they're filming on the back lot, or something that they're filming on Colonial Street. I'm not 100% sure, but these do look like period cars. So one thing that I just heard for the first time, and maybe this explains why Colonial Street was closed today and why it was closed a couple days ago, is that they are filming a movie version of the Munsters. So the original Munsters house is on Colonial Street, so that might explain what the production is.
So you get some pictures of the Psycho House, get a picture of the Bates Motel, get a picture of Norman carrying a dead what? Everybody on the tram is watching you put a body in the trunk, and these people have cameras on their phones, and you have a knife. I didn't take pictures. In the back car, they're far away from me. They did. That was close. Norman, I'm kidding. Norman, no, I will tell your mother.
And of course, leaving the Psycho House, leaving the War of the Worlds set, we head to the most exciting part of the studio tour, which of course is Nope. Wow, look at the concrete work here.
From his new film,
it's happening.
It's going to be released in theaters on Friday the 22nd. Guys, can you hold on just a second?
This looks beautiful.
I'm getting a call from our Go ahead, security.
You can see from here we have a pig up from the roof.
Oh.
I'll tell you who I am, boy.
In just a couple weeks, we will not be able to see the back of this anymore because the tour will be rerouted. We're going to get a look here at the side of the Nope set. But you know what? I think we're going to get a better look from the top of the ET parking structure. So let's just head there now. Hello from the top of a very empty ET parking structure. We have finally official news from Jordan Peele, from Blumhouse, from Universal, that this set right here off the side of the parking structure is going to be from Nope. We already knew this, but let's check it out anyway. So here's a wide look at the Nope set. You can see they are currently using the side where they usually drive through for tram parking. Let's zoom in a little bit. So now bringing in some news from the announcement and some conventional news about the movie. This town is called Jupiter's Claim, and they actually have a website for it. You can check it out. But look, the fence is now gone. That is so exciting. So long, cowboy, until we meet again. We have a sheriff station. That well right there from Horror Nights, We thought it was for Horror Nights. It's right there. You can see some people working around. There's a goat that might have significant parts of play in the movie, not sure. We have this big balloon which was put up recently, along with the flags, which have a big part, at least in the movie trailer. Moving down just a little bit, there's a bank. It looks like we have maybe some amusement park seats. And then this house right here, which we thought was taking a long time to build because it was just the last thing to build, looks like it's some sort of wrecked house. If you can kind of see right there, there's some shards of wood peeking out. So of course, our best views of this are from the studio tour and from up here on the ET parking structure. I can't wait. We just have a couple more weeks until we get to drive through this and see what it really is in person. And you know I will be here that first week. Okay, let's head back to Jake on the studio tour. Here we are outside the Rumor Scarecrow maze, where you can notice just a little bit more theming on the right side of the roof here. And here it is. It's blocked by that new shipping container. Leaving the tram, and I'll tell you guys what my alarm tells me every morning when I woke up, which is have a tram-tastic day. Leaving the studio tour, I'm going to head towards the lower lot to maybe go on some attractions, meet some characters, get some food, and of course check on Super Nintendo World and Halloween Horror Nights. Okay, now here we are at the top of the Starway. Let's look at Universal Monsters Legends Collide. And there's not really too much of an update at the facade. Maybe we have some new theming elements around it, and that floor work is looking a little bit more weathered. It's moving up a little bit to the rumored Killer Clowns from Outer Space Maze. Now I keep saying rumored because it has not been announced yet. And here we are looking at Super Nintendo World. We have a lot more stuff that has been revealed and that we can see from this angle. Right now they're working on painting those theming elements, and of course we don't even have a green warp pipe up yet, so that'll be coming soon. Moving up into the land, you can see those coins that are right behind that wrapped up piranha. There's the unwrapped piranha right here. We still have some elements behind plywood here. I think that might be a Goomba that walks back and forth on that blue brick. Not 100% sure. Moving over to Bowser's Castle, again, I still think we're gonna have a little bit of a wait until that Bowser head is revealed. And it's interesting to see that the columns that were previously, the scrim was removed, the scrim is back on. Interesting. Moving down below Bowser's Castle, we now have a thwomp, very exciting. And there is some entrance to something, I think, right next to the thwomp. That is either going to be the restaurant or the interactive area. It might also be a gift shop, not sure, but you can see a sign is covered up. Moving to the left a little bit to Mount Beanpole, we have another thwomp has been revealed, along with a POW sign. And here's a look at those clouds, which I said were now stacked straight. If you look at previous videos, you can see they were misaligned. And then right above the clouds, we have the flag and the coins, which have been revealed. Those coins will be spinning. Very exciting seeing Super Nintendo World from up here. Heading into the lower lot, it's interesting seeing the back of the Transformers building has some scaffolding on it. Heading into the lower lot, watching Jurassic World have splashdown, and looks like Blue is doing a meet and greet. The studio store has officially closed, but they have finally opened this new popcorn stand. They're selling the new Minions popcorn bucket, both the floaty bucket and the one that sells out all the time, the Minions in the car. And I'm crossing my fingers that the studio tour closure finally means we're having a new Super Nintendo World store. And from the space between the Transformers and the Mummy, here is a look at the Super Nintendo World warp pipe finally unveiled. You can see that kind of behind the warp pipe, there's some paint bleeding. Don't worry, that will all be covered up. And that gray post right there, that is either going to be for a new box or that might be the official Super Nintendo World sign. We don't know yet. We're still waiting on the warp pipe to show some green on the outside to be covered. But for right now, this is a big update. Very, very exciting. Now, one thing I did notice is if you head into Transformers, on the split between the express queue and the standby queue, you can see the warp pipe just a little bit better. Now, speaking of Transformers, I'm gonna hop on Transformers because I wanna show you guys something really funny. In this scene right here, look at Megatron's mouth. Doesn't it kind of look like he has buck teeth? I'm sorry if this is like the FedEx arrow and you'll never be able to unsee this, but I just think it's so funny. Leaving Transformers, I haven't noticed from this angle, you can kind of see these icy mountains These are really pretty. Okay, so I know I've said this a couple times on this channel, but I just had my best interaction with Megatron. I asked him if he is excited for Horror Nights, and he had some very choice words to say, not just about the people that attend Horror Nights and the event itself, but for the people who work Horror Nights. So I will put that video up in the next day or so. Megatron's gonna have some haters for that. Okay, now let's head on the Mummy. Here at the Mummy, one thing that's exciting is that they do have single rider back. There's no signs for it, so you do need to ask. Now inside the Mummy, inside the treasure room, there are two kind of hidden secrets. One is an E.T. figure, and the other is Waldo from Where's Waldo? And here we are looking at the Waterworld maze, rumored to be the Blumhouse maze. And of course, we saw those props in the Curious George parking structure, so there's not much to see from this end. Let's see if we can see anything through the door at all. Looking through the door a little bit, we do see a photo that says Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights. So let's leave Waterworld here and go check on Super Nintendo World. But before doing that, I do want to check on wait times. So let's check right out here outside the Animation Studio store where there's new Minions Rise of Gru window displays. So at 11:13 a.m., Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey 70 minutes, Hippogriff is 45, Ollivanders is 25, Studio Tour is 30, Secret Life Pets is already virtual, Despicable Me is 55, Simpsons is 70, Kung Fu Panda only 15, Jurassic World is 90 minutes. Transformers is 60 minutes, Revenge of the Mummy is 40, Animal Actors and Waterworld and Special Effects Show finally are getting ready for their first show in about an hour. Inside a feature presentation featuring Super Nintendo World, the front of the store has now been changed to a Mario Kart section. It does have those new dog tags, I think, are what they are, as well. We have new Mario Kart merch all over here. As far as I can tell, there is not one item that says Universal Studios Hollywood, and there is not one item that says Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge, which is the official name of the attraction here. It does say Mario Kart Grand Prix, but that's not the name of the attraction. Interesting. I do love this store. And it only seemed right to come through the main entrance where we have a new window display that has Mario and Luigi outfits and this cool photo opportunity. It is so great to finally be in this section of the store, and not much has changed. If you look at the top, you can see they didn't really change anything up there. They just added these outlines around the merchandise shelves, and then these are just newly painted to match Super Nintendo World colors. One thing I noticed when I was in here last time is that Yoshi seems to have different colors based on the merchandise. So look at this green on the shirt. It's different than this green on the plush, which is different than this green on the luggage tag. And even the green here is different than that green. Here we have Mario Kart merch on this side of the wall. These are brand new. I think these are dog tags. More Mario Kart merch, which continues over here. His and her sleepwear, which is kind of fun, and these really nice tin signs. You know, I love a good tin sign. Coming around this way a little bit more, we have more toys. None of this is for Super Nintendo World. So these are just Super Mario toys. These are all Super Nintendo World merch items that we have seen before. They were just across the way. I do love this front display though, with this question mark block and this flag up here, which mirrors the flag in the land. If you look up too, you can even see a flower up there. We have a mushroom head and then different types of blocks hanging above you, which are pretty cool. This one is right underneath the air conditioner, so if you look very closely, you can see it kind of waving around. And it wouldn't be a Super Nintendo World store without some warp pipes. We have two warp pipes in the store. So here in front of the Super Nintendo World photo op, punching the question mark block, I just want to say thank you so much if you watched this whole update. I know this was a long one. Thank you so much for watching this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one.